put a hand on my chair, and asked, not looking me in the eye, if I had heard what happened to that boy. "It's a shame how they do us," he said, and shook his head. All the stories I heard at the clinic were different but linked. Individually experienced fears and feelings of grief were interwoven and overlapping, connected by race but specifically by history. By the Great Lie, told first to justify colonization, theft, and kidnapping, and to protect the teller from the truth of what they had allowed to happen, of what they were allowing themselves to become. The lie that claimed that Black people were subhuman, the lie that justified profiting from our bodies, that always found a way to render our early deaths acceptable, if not inevitable. I felt that same fear and grief too. There was something about Trayvon's face, his smile, that forced me to feel. It reminded me of boys and young men I knew and had known. Bright, mischievous, sweet. Like Oscar Grant, who worked at my local grocery store in Oakland before he was killed on the Fruitvale BART station platform, face down. And Emmett Till, in photos, buttoned up and smiling before they destroyed him. When I looked at Trayvon's photo, I saw an innocence, a budding, beautiful Black boy with Skittles and an iced tea in his hands, headed home from the convenience store, talking to a girl on the phone. I saw myself. I remembered walking down southern streets in my own teen years. I was 15 when we moved to a new neighborhood, into a house with 2 showers, green grass in the yard, and for the first time, a room of my own. It was the first house my mother had ever bought, the one that gave us a place away from the abuse, and the nicest one I'd ever lived in. That first day, the Black family across the street came out to greet us. 2 parents, 4 boys, and a girl who seemed to be my age. While the parents spoke, we kids stared at one another, deciding. The girl broke the line first and asked if I wanted to walk with her to get ice cream. My mother nodded her approval, and I followed the girl down the street. We walked 4 blocks, exchanging questions about our schools and our friends. It felt like the teen novels I spent every summer reading, moving into a new home, a new neighborhood, and finding an instant best friend. It really felt like a new beginning, like freedom. 2 blocks from the ice cream shop, a white man swung his porch door open, charging at us, red-faced, mid-scream. "You niggers need to leave this neighborhood now!" I stood there unable to move for a second before my new friend grabbed my arm. "Come on." We ran without stopping all the way back home. To someone watching, we might have looked like we were playing. 2 Black kids, heads pushed high, racing down the middle of the street. But this was not that. We were running in terror, too scared to look over our shoulders in case that man with his red face was close behind. It's not that I hadn't encountered the vitriol of racism before. I had, often, at school and in town. But I had never felt that specific fear in my own neighborhood before, so close to home. When we got back, I was shaking. We told our parents and they scooped us up and we retreated to our homes, but my mother didn't ask many questions of me or say very much at all. I imagine she wasn't surprised. She knew what the world could do. Having grown up in segregated Louisiana, she may have had too many of her own stories of running scared to think there was any use in comforting me. I didn't know exactly because she never said. Perhaps she'd never been given the room to. The girl and I never got our ice cream that day or any other, and we hardly spoke to each other again. Somehow, what had happened seemed the fault of us coming together, of imagining that we could just be kids who got ice cream on a summer afternoon. I never ventured past the end of our block after that. I was terrified of what lay beyond, of the violence my Blackness seemed to activate in others. The day after Zimmerman was acquitted, it felt like the walls of the clinic wanted to burst. 50-minute sessions couldn't contain the rage and grief. There was grief and rage in my clients, and there was grief and rage in me. It was all I could do to maintain my composure, to act like a therapist and resist pushing open every door and bringing us all together to cry it out in the hallways. That week's meeting with our clinical supervisor was devoted to how we might support our Black clients around the verdict. It agitated me, not because it wasn't needed, but because it was clearly not enough. I wanted healing for my clients and every Black person everywhere that day. I knew how much we needed it. But I was starting to sense the limit to what we could do as therapists. That as much as each client needed room to heal and tell their stories, the people who came to see me each week needed the world to change, and not just how they felt about it. It's hard to heal when you're still being hurt. There was something disingenuous about trying to fit each client's emotion neatly into personal therapeutic rooms when what they were feeling was never only individual. We needed, I thought.